In this video, we'll see how Storyteller can help accelerate application delivery in large global enterprises. If we look at application development in large enterprises today and abstract it up, we'll have business stakeholders who need some capability. We have a development group who's going to be delivering it, and most still have independent QA groups who will ensure that it meets all the quality needs. And in most organizations, even if they've transitioned or are transitioning to Agile, the business will list out their needs as a set of business requirements. These business level requirements are communicated to the development organization and to the QA group as a description of what the business needs. Too often, these are still produced entirely by the business and delivered to other groups, which immediately contributes to the siloed nature of so many organizations still today. Which brings us to one of the biggest sources of error in siloed organizations, and that is misunderstanding. Whenever information is passed over the wall, the hope is that those on the other side will interpret it exactly as we've intended, which is almost never the case. This causes so many errors, and they're some of the most insidious as they can remain hidden or dormant until much later, meaning they become incredibly expensive to remedy. Those business requirements then need to be, in essence, translated into the language of development work. In other words, user stories with acceptance criteria for developers to work from. Similarly, in QA, they need to be translated into tests for testers to use. This process today is highly manual and is yet another source of error. So this adds to the growing source of errors, and we haven't even written a line of code as yet. Now, it's from user stories that developers write code, again being a manual process, so errors are introduced by definition. So we can refer to these as three different classes of errors: misunderstanding, mistranslation, and misimplementation. Finally, testers will of course run the tests against the code, which is often when a lot of these errors get exposed. It results in defects being created or change requests, which is where all the rework now starts, the costs begin to increase, and the delays begin. While this can be less dramatic with Agile as opposed to Waterfall, it still does happen and it's still costly. But worse, with Agile, it can be far less obvious. Storyteller removes these silos in a number of ways. First of all of this is in a single platform where all these roles can collaborate together. There's no over the wall. The needs of the business is modeled graphically and detailed into lightweight Agile scenarios, basically creating a storyboard of what's to be built that everybody can understand. This removes the vast majority of misunderstandings that occur. Then, once everybody has a common understanding and agreement on what's to be built, this model is translated automatically into user stories and tests. In addition to accelerating the work because it happens instantly, it also eliminates another entire class of error, since the stories and tests are always an exact reflection of the models that were storyboarded, understood, and agreed. This is how Storyteller is able to dramatically reduce the common classes of error that slow down the delivery of business applications, and is why Blueprint customers are able to deliver applications faster and with increased business value. 44% faster delivery of releases, 36% improvement in compliance, 41% reduction in defects and expensive rework, and an overall 37% improvement in quality of the delivered application. For one customer, a top 5 U.S. bank, this translated into a $1.54 million savings on a $7.4 million program. In other words, a 21% return.